Hello, this is Bill Cloudsy. Welcome to a Throne of Eldraine draft on Magic Online. So, blue is my favorite color in this format. I think green is also pretty good. And we have a lot of good blue options in this first pack. We've got Vantress Gargoyle, which is a nice rare that supports multiple strategies and is just a giant flyer for 2 mana. Very hard to attack past. The Animating Fairy is pretty good. That's a lot of power and toughness coming out early, and supported by cards like Golden Egg especially, which has already drawn you a card, and then it's a 4/4 on turn 3 potentially. Merfolk's Secret Keeper is good. I think the mill deck, if you get a good version of it, is very hard to beat. Heraldic Banner, definitely up there. Either fixes your mana or pumps all your creatures. I'm going to start with the rare here. It's one you don't necessarily get to play with that much, but it's in my favorite color. And wow, another great pack for blue. An uncommon is missing. Might take the rare again. Midnight Clock is fun to play with. The ramp helps you empty your hand, and then by the time you go off with this clock, you're drawing 7 cards again, which is just going to be great. And you've emptied your hand, so yeah. If you do empty your hand even earlier than that, you can start putting counters on this with the extra mana, so it's pretty efficient. Drown in the Loch, also good, but since we're not really committing to a second color yet, I'll go for the clock. And the best possible case here would be to wheel some of those little 0/4s, but we'll see what happens. Conrad and Bacon to Pie, definitely powerful black options here. I might focus on blue though and take Tome Raider over Runaway Together and Opt, because I want to keep our count of things high. Maybe we go into a red blue deck instead of black blue. These are solid cards, but they are heavy commitments to black, or just mono blue. Yeah, tough one, but I'll take the Tome Raider here. Okay, Dance of the Man. So what happens to this? Make sure we know what it does. It does exile it after it goes off, so that's not something you'll get back with Dance. Make sure that's down there. Moonlit Scavengers. I've been pretty happy with this one, and we already have 2 artifacts that'll help come in with the Mana War effect. And nothing else too incredible here. Forever Young could be good in a black-blue mill deck to get back your Secret Keepers or whatever they are. Vision, Monitor, Henge Walker, potentially even Happily Ever After, but not a huge fan of that one. Yeah, what to take here? Corridor Monitor could be good. It can help us activate Vantress Gargoyle twice in a turn. It's hard to attack through. It's an artifact. I mean, blue pairs nicely with white in the technology deck. Artifacts and enchantments, as well as red and black and pretty much every color. So yeah, Monitor or Vision. I guess Vision is something a little less replaceable that I want to get my hand on here. Tome Raider versus Vantress Paladin. At this time we can go for power over utility. Reaper of Night and Runaway Together. As long as the blue cards are coming, I'm going to take them. It also helps signal the people to our left. Oh, Castle Garenbrig. I opened one of these live in foil, one of my few foil rares I've pulled, and it's a pretty one. But anyway, no more blue, so we could take an artifact or branch out a little bit. And if we're branching out here, I might go Wicked Guardian. I'll take the Broom. Oh wow. Secret Keeper does wheel on this table. I hope the second one comes back. That was a blue heavy pack, so I doubt the second one will come, but it's definitely one that I want for this deck. Opt versus Sanctuary. In a completely blue deck, the Sanctuary might be a bit better. Not sure what exactly we're getting back, but Blue will be our heaviest color, so getting anything back might be better than a random opt, since we'd likely cut cards here anyway. If the choice was having a 23rd card as good as opt or a Mystic Sanctuary, I might take that. But anyway, Fling, Fairy Guide Mother, take the Guide Mother. And more likely we play the Armor at this point, but neither are that likely. Okay, we only got one of the Secret Keepers, but we could still potentially make a deck out of this. Animating Fairy, another good one to open here. If this is our color, if we get some goose egg type thing, that'll be better. But it's a strong card to begin with, a Wind Drake, 2/2 flyer for 3. So you don't always need to animate something. And the other blue card, Paladin, is okay, So Tiny's pretty good, but this one's a little harder to replace. Next up we have Lucky Clover, which is a really good one with Animating Fairy. Target non... Well, it doesn't quite work so well to copy the ability on itself because the second one wouldn't resolve. By that time it would be a creature. But if you have 2 artifacts lying around, you can get both of them going. It's especially good with Merfolk's Secret Keeper. But I think at this point we don't have enough working with it, so I'll just take Sir Eleonora, which is quality. Anything else here? Overwhelmed Apprentice. I haven't been blown away by this card. If it's trading with their creature, it becomes really good. Scry 2 is also very nice. Generally, the Secret Keeper is better, though. Harder to attack through. More win condition type effect. Milling 4 is just much better than Milling 2. The Scry is nice, though. Let's see. I might take it here. Nothing else is really appealing. And we can stay in mono blue here. Prized Griffin might be worth going into for white, but we'll take the Apprentice. Okay, another Secret Keeper. Even just having 2 of these can be fine with Runaway Together. So yeah, grab that over Witch Stalker. We might want Witching Well here. That's an artifact for Animating Fairy. I also really like Mystical Dispute. It's not bad just to have the card, but in the blue mirror it becomes one of the best cards you can have. Yeah, I'm going to grab that actually. That's our first piece of counter magic, and I value counter magic quite a bit. Hushbringer. It's funny how these adventure cards get around that. This is creatures entering don't cause abilities to trigger, so that would be like Eleonora, Scavengers, and some other things. But yeah, pretty solid card. At rare, you'd expect something maybe better for limited, but it's pretty good as a 1/2 lifelink even. Now, what else? Another Paladin. The 4 toughness is really nice on the Griffin, but in a mono blue deck, I think you're doing better with the 3/3 for 1 less mana. Outflank. Yeah, nothing here for us. I mean, blue is pretty popular. Okay, another Paladin. So we could be pretty aggressive, but that's the beauty of Secret Keeper. This just lets you survive on the ground if you're not milling them to win. But also, it helps your Vantress Gargoyle attack early. Another Runaway Together. So right now we have about 6 Secret Keepers because we can get a Runaway Together back. Not that we're going to play it that way. I'm going to cut Return to Nature. I think that card is pretty strong in this format. And don't want the Scarecrow. I'll take my 3/3 flyers any day. So I might cut a Runaway Together. I wouldn't want more Runaway Togethers than 1-drops. but it just depends. Covetous Urge, that's pretty good. At this point, is Lucky Clover good enough? I still don't think it's quite there, but Covetous Urge is definitely powerful. We haven't chosen the second color yet, and we could still be monocolored with this. But we could also splash black. You could even be a very heavy blue splashing red or green or something with this, but then it becomes a later gameplay, which might not be as good. Anyway, a foil goose. That could be cute. Sundering Stroke, not actually a bad splash card. And Didn't Say Please, which might be more my speed right now with 0 goose eggs. And this would give us some eggs, I guess. But should we just take the boring card, Didn't Say Please? I think I'm going to go for Sundering Stroke here. It looks weird. Definitely Gilded Goose wouldn't work for this deck. Maybe if it was a live draft, I'd end up taking that because it's so cool. But the foils online just aren't even worth as much, with the exception of a couple foil mythics used for set redemptions. Yeah, I'll go for the Stroke. We already picked up a counterspell. Oh wow, Foil Goose followed by Foil Elder. That'll be fun for someone to see. No blue cards here really, except the Lock Dragon, which is a smaller Vantress Paladin that is in good colors for splashing Sundering Stroke, I guess. Yeah, I'll grab that here. Opt, we get it anyway. And I'll grab that. It's the only card for us. Ginger Brute, does that make our deck any better? I don't know, but I generally wouldn't want more than one vision, especially if we can get it back. Because it's an expensive turn to take off. Another Opt. A regular old Castle Garenbrig, Roving Keep. Still one I haven't seen played, and for good reason. A 5/7 is great to lock up the ground, but for 7 mana, I mean, you get almost as much toughness for 1 mana with the Secret Keeper. And to make it do anything, you have to invest 7 mana into it. Yeah, they designed a fair card here. Let's put it that way. Take an island. I'll take the rare. This is the new Gaia's Cradle, so could take it while it's hot here. Felda Pheasant, don't want to play against it. But the blue is gone, so I'm glad we branched into red here. And do we have anything to sacrifice for the broom? I guess we don't. We don't really have much for the animating fairy. What did I take? The Mystical Dispute over the 1-drop Witch's Oven. I don't think that really makes sense in this deck, but it would give us a sacrifice outlet for the broom, and it gives us 2 foods off the Secret Keeper. And I am not going to play anything else here. We don't have a gargoyle yet. Whatever, I'll take the broom. Prophet of the Peak, sure. Because I think we're looking for about 1 more playable in this deck. It's a late Squire. Card's good. Or we could just play all the 18 lands. We have, well, we need something more in this deck. Probably Prophet of the Peak. And then run all the Runaway Togethers. And we could certainly mill people. Ventress Gargoyle does mill 1 a turn. We can bounce back our Secret Keepers any number of times and potentially outlast our opponents with this clock. Now, there must have been 1 or 2 other heavy blue drafters on this table, hence a lot of cards not coming back. We didn't even pick up any really useful red cards beyond our first couple picks. But we do need to look at what is possible in this deck. White cards aren't good enough, especially given that we're trying to splash a little red. This is 23, but I'm not sure about the last couple cards, because we could cut a Runaway Together. It's not bad with Animating Fairy, but that only has Midnight Clock to animate. But then again, Witch's Oven is the only other card that we could animate. Yeah, it'll still be okay, I think, given how few playables we have in our colors. Having a 2/2 flyer is fine. Then Prophet of the Peak is probably good enough here. We can sort of ramp towards it. We have a lot of scry. We have early plays. We don't need 18 lands, I don't think. Though we might be okay with 18 lands. Let's see, Opts can find extra lands early anyway, so I think 17 is good. And then we have some expensive stuff. Yeah, I like this all in all. How are we going to build the mana base? Probably 2 mountains is enough for Sundering Stroke, really is the only thing. Is that enough? No other ways of fixing for mana. Yeah, I think 2 is enough. It doesn't look like a ton, but we have plenty of time to wait for it. And I don't want it to interfere with things like Covetous Urge and Vantress Paladin. We never want to see 2. 3 would be decent as well. I just think we have enough card draw to warrant that. And what else? I suppose we could mill both of our own mountains with Vantress Gargoyle. That's a risk, but at that point we can discard Sundering Stroke to Lock Dragon, or just not cast it, or put it back in our deck with the Midnight Clock. So we've got lots of play to this deck. Yeah, blue splashing red, and sometimes you'll be forced to do this if your color's kind of cut, but we have enough powerful stuff. And blue is very deep in this format. All of the commons are good. So if you just get 23 blue cards, you're all set pretty much. See you in the matches. Round 1 versus Muzzmeister with just about a perfect hand. As long as we can keep Runaway Together up after a while, this Secret Keeper is going to do a lot of work. Milling 12 on its own. Oh, they're starting pretty aggressive and in the air, so that's a little rough. Let's start with a little mill here. See what we're dealing with. Okay, black-white. Black-white something. Black-white value, I would say, from the look of it. But it could be a knight deck. We just haven't seen any knights yet. Black-white adventure is more possible, like a Lucky Clover and then the discard 4 card, those kind of things. Start with an opt. Dispute, I will bottom that here. We need another land. And it's not especially good against their deck. It's nice to have one piece of counter magic to fall back on, not at the expense of a draw. Okay, they're going to pump that thing. We can't block. And they untap it, so our attack back doesn't look quite as good. Yeah, now that we're holding Runaway Together up, if they try more of these adventure-style cards, we can strand them forever. Of course, we're giving them back an adventure, so that's a bit awkward. They might just play a couple squires here. But generally our 3/3 flyers should be good against this. What is that? Resolute Rider. Let's bounce these two because we don't have much else to do. And we could even steal the Rider. But we could steal that at any time. Kind of tough here. Maybe we can use Lock Dragon, but I'm not sure what we discard here. 3 cards in their hand. We know one is pretty good, but we don't necessarily want to cast it right now. I think it's a fine enough time to use Covetous Urge. There's nothing I really want to discard here, even though I do want land, and we can steal their best play. And it gives us a lot of information, because their board is... Oh, wow. Well, apparently it was the right play. They don't want us to see their sweet strategy, I guess. Their game-ending bombs. That's crazy, actually. Oh, well. Like, if their hand was so good that they didn't want me to see it, then they probably had a pretty good chance against my draw, because I wasn't super close to stabilizing. I'm trying to think if there's anything we can do differently against that particular deck, and I don't think there is. I think we have a lot of good stuff against all that. All right, another good start here. Really good start. Even if Animating Fairy's not going to do much in this tournament. Sanctuary. Sanctuary to get back Sundering Stroke. That's a late game for you. Milieu. And it just does 7 damage to a player. Squire gone, Scaldron gone. Good answer to our paladins. And they probably don't have a ton of flyers. They might have a couple 3/4s and a couple of those 1/1s. Bell of the Brawl, that's also kind of hard to block here. So, with nothing else to do, we can just cast this and potentially double block the bell. It's a little risky, but our Secret Keeper's not doing much at the moment. Castle Lochthwain, that'll be hard to beat. Maybe milling them might be a better, or more of a possibility here. We need a way to deal with that Rider, because that is one we cannot block. But I am just on survival mode here. Getting 2 damage in is not going to help against them gaining 4 life a turn. 3 lands away from the stroke. So we take it, and they could give it lifelink, but against us, that's not going to be the problem. Yeah, they realize that. We're not attacking with Animating Fairy, so they probably don't need to do that. They'll kill the Paladin here instead. And no 5th land drop, so that might be a good sign for us. See what we're working with here. See what they're working with too. Mill them for 2. We see what they mill before we have to scry. That's good. Alright, Scavengers might not be what we want since we don't have an artifact or enchantment in play, but it's good against the Rider. Let's plan this out. So we haven't played our land yet, so we're at 5. Next turn we're at 6. So let's do top. And just getting the 4/5 in play is good enough for me. Might be time to chump the Rider. They can give it indestructible. No, it's not time to chump it yet. Not when they have Bell of the Brawl out. Tempting Witch. Well, the good news here is Sundering Stroke kills all of their things. The bad news is, well, there's no horrible news yet. But the bad news is they might discard our last 2 cards. That would be the worst. See if they do it to start with. Actually, that's a good reason to... okay, they didn't do it. That's wonderful. So just no attacks this turn? Alright, here we go. What do we kill? Resolute Rider, Bog Naughty, and Bell of the Brawl. Without Adamant support. It doesn't even say Adamant on the card, but... Okay, get all those damages. We'd love to kill Tempting Witch, but I think that card is just... The Bog Naughty's just going to kill us, and we can't kill the Tempting Witch and the Bog Naughty and the Rider. So let's just do this, a little 3 for 1. And start attacking them. Nice. Yep. Any 2 for 1s or more just win you the game, apparently. See you in the next match. Round 2. I didn't know you could put periods in names. Anyway, yeah, let's keep this. It's got a good start and some pretty powerful cards. And another white deck. Might be mono white. I guess it could also be white blue. It is white blue. Youthful Knight. We need something to deal with that. I guess we have it. We have it. But let's start with this. Gives us some information. Oh, wow. Enchanted Carriage. This card is a lot better than it looks. Oddly enough. And they're pretty good in multiples as well. I haven't tried it, but playing against it has always been kind of weird. I think a vehicle 4/4 might be better than a 4/4. So it's weird. Anyway, what do we do here? 5. Eventually we'll need 6, but I think we can bottom both of these. Draw some more action in the meantime. And get a real blocker down there. Because we have all the blue we'll need for Covetous Urge. Yep. Scrying 2 lands to the bottom is pretty nice. Pathlighter. So many flyers. Okay, so we'll be taking 2 a turn for a while. But maybe we can catch something. Or potentially play Arcanist Owl. We have a couple good artifacts to draw towards. It's better to take a card from their hand so they can't play it. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't have the counter target blue spell card here, but let's take a look. We'll see if they have it one way or another. And to see if they concede to this. Is the card so good that they'll concede to it? And that's part of the power of this card, is the format is so powerful. If your opponent is really happy about their mythic henge or whatever it is. Shine Chaser and Shining Armor. Why didn't they play any of this stuff? I guess they were hoping to flash in Shining Armor. That's a good one to know about, I guess. I'll take the Shine Chaser. That's one I don't want to have to play against here, and we can play it next turn using our mana as if it were any color. And look at how shiny it is. Nice. And they didn't even play the Night Trick. Weird. They drew another one off the top. naturally. Great. I'm going to start with an op. The other thing we could do here is put back the Urge and then steal the Shining Armor. Of course, that has flash, so that doesn't exactly work. Grab an Arcanist's Owl, because this is an artifact, right? That'll make their Shine Chaser into a 2/4. And my Shine Chaser is just a lowly 1/1, which is no good. And that takes a couple turns to get going. So they're going to get 4 damage in next turn, but getting a 3/3 in play is probably good enough here. Yeah, let's get back the Urge and cast it this turn. Top. If I were them, I wouldn't cast Shining Armor, oddly enough. Not in response. Well, I would anyway, but... I mean, of course you do, right? But it's not what I want. I want Arcanist Owl. Even they have a Vantress Paladin. Because we know their last card is a Plains. So we'll grab the Owl. And we can play that eventually. Now don't draw an enchantment, please. And I did say please. Ah, Acclaimed Contender. Lots of action, but they miss. They don't find a knight or equipment card there. Maybe we'll miss too with the Owl, but we have a couple good hits. Mythical Dispute. That's not a bad one here. Let's start with the Owl, though. We miss, and we miss some good ones. But those get put on the bottom randomly. Oh, I should have played the red there. Now what? Now I could hold up Dispute or mill them for 4. I'm going to mill them for 4 because it's more likely they draw a white card. But I could have played that Secret Keeper this turn or held up Dispute, which would be even better. Anyway, they might not get to attack here unless they get that enchantment or an outmaneuver. But one of the cards they have in their hand is a Plains. Just depends on what they drew here. Stop drawing good stuff. If they trap the Apprentice in the tower, yeah, that is too bad. We might have to trade with the Shine Chaser, though that is super awkward. But I think we have to do it here. We're so low. We just need more time. Run away together. Oh, that's so good. Wow, that's good. Let's see, we have 6 mana this turn. We can't really do everything. But we can do Shine Chaser, which will be a 1/1 for us. We could hold up Mystical Dispute, which is pretty good against them. They're holding a Plains in their hand for whatever reason. Maybe we should do that now. No. Or we could just play Prophet of the Peak this turn. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I think that gives them very few good attacks. Animating Fairy. I don't really want that, but I do want Vantress Gargoyle. Even though it doesn't help us a ton, it actually does help us with Shine Chaser. And the 2/2 is not as good as what else we have going on here. So I'll top the Gargoyle here. All right. So we're not dead this turn, unless they have another trapped in the tower off the top. Like, there's only so many turns in a row where you could draw perfectly. It's likely they drew another land because they were holding one land in hand, and now they're probably still holding one land back. Chaser. I want to actually play Gargoyle and hold up 3 mana. So let's do that and then play the Secret Keeper. And this is creatures, adventure creatures enter with a +1/+1 counter. So in response to them playing one of those, we could bounce the Pathlighter and the Secret Keeper. Or we could just do it now. That thing can't block. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do this eventually. Our flyer is not very good at blocking until we have 4 cards in our hand, and we don't. They can replay it, and that's fine, I think. Assuming they have at least 1 land in their hand, and they didn't do anything last turn with all their mana, so unless it's combat tricks or something, I'm not too worried. 2 white. There's our Pathlighter. And if their last card is a blue card, I guess they got us here. Still not quite enough to block with the Gargoyle, and it's more likely we just attack them and kill them. I don't know, actually. Milling is a real possibility all of a sudden. Let's see. We have mill 8, plus they're drawing, plus they're milling to a turn. So get them to 7 and then kill them in 4 turns. That's the same clock, and I think that's pretty good. So let's go that route. Actually, let's hold that back. Let's play Shine Chaser. And hold everything else back. So we're holding up Counter Magic and Runaway together. And we have a blocker for the Pathlighter. Unless they play an enchantment, but I can counter most things they can do here. And if it's another trapped in the tower, I can get rid of that. Sir Alan, yeah, that's probably one I don't want to resolve here. It doesn't automatically win, but it's something expensive and I can't counter so many things. So each player mills 1. Ooh, Emery's a nice pull. And it's a real limited powerhouse. You just need 1, you know, Scalding Cauldron or something to get back, and you're in good shape. Mill them a little more here. Could opt here too. Paladin. Yeah, that's a good one to top. Pass it. I could start attacking with the Shine Chaser. I guess I wasn't really thinking of that route to victory here, because I'm just going for milling. Jousting Dummy's fine. It's unlikely they have enough to push through the damage they need. Well, you never know. What's this going to be? Another... Oh, Silver Flame Ritual. Good deal. It doesn't make these guys big enough to attack in, but they figure they can come in with the Pathlighter, and that is okay by me. That might spark a concession here. Okay, it doesn't spark the concession right away. We just need 1 more runaway together, and then we've got them. So mill them down to their last 3 cards. So they'll be down to 1 card by my next turn, so I can untap. So they need to kill us this turn. That is not super likely. And I can prepare for it by playing all of my stuff out. Very efficient. No problem attacking with this here. It's vigilance. They have no flyers. They could have outmaneuvered it, I guess, but nope, didn't get it. Blue, white. The other advantage of mill decks is you get to see their whole deck. The features here, Emery, Sir Alan. Not a ton of artifacts they can get back, but getting back even something like an Arcanist Owl is pretty strong. So, cool. What do we want against it? Well, we're lucky enough to have Mystical Dispute. We did show them we had it. We also know they have Silver Flame Ritual, so that's something we could keep an eye out for, but we have so many of these Runaway Togethers that I think we're fine there. Yeah, submit again. Our sideboard is really limited. Might get to show off our Midnight Clock here. Turn 1 Secret Keeper. Or potentially turn 1 Opt to get that island. Well, we'll see what they do. Keep it. It might be more important to get the Secret Keeper down early. Oh, that's fun. Let's just hold up Opt and Mystical Dispute. That's really cute, actually. It's more likely going to be a white creature, but yes, top that island. Mill them for 4. Pass it. Pass it super quickly, because at this point, getting an 0-4 down there doesn't do much. It does something. It keeps our Runaway Together up. Now they're thinking if they should play their blue spell or not. Looks like a white spell. Oh yes, I played really well here. The thing about Emery is it does mill them, but it's also very good and something that's hard for us to deal with later in the game. Like I wondered why they didn't play their Secret Keeper there. Yeah, now the clock starts ticking. And since we have nothing else to do, we can play our Secret Keeper without skipping a beat. This thing ticks up pretty quickly. 6 turns to get 12 counters. 6 rounds, I guess. Vantress Paladin without Adamant, whereas we have Vantress Paladin with Adamant. Yeah, looks good. What do you say to that? Charmed Sleep. If only we had some way to like bounce that back. Oh, we do. Let's see, we don't want to bounce their Paladin in case they draw the next source they need. But we have to. We might have to here. That's too bad. Actually, I should just save it. Let's just get a big creature down this turn and then run away together our own thing when they have a better thing. Animating Fairy, that's really aggressive. Let's bottom the Apprentice and top the Fairy. Oh yeah, we might just kill them with damage here. We're getting in 9 next turn. And adding a 2/2 to the board. Or something like that. No. We're getting in 9 and then holding up Runaway Together. It does give them an out to like kill Midnight Clock, which might be awkward. But they already have an out to kill it. This really just gives them more blue outs to bounce it or something. Monitor to untap the Paladin. I guess that's fine. That's a better one to hold up bounce for. Oh, trapped in the tower. Shoot, they found some good answers to our stuff. So what do we do here? I'm still going to animate the clock, I think. And swing in there. Then what? Well, I didn't see much counter magic from their deck, so I'll just hold up Runaway Together. This thing has all kinds of counters on it. Witching Well. That's fine. And at this point they might start putting islands on the bottom, not expecting to draw too many more Vantress Paladins. So I wonder what we're supposed to do here. I don't know. Jousting Dummy. Okay, so let's think about this. We have plenty of Runaway Togethers. What I want to do here is bounce Paladin and Monitor. And then return... Ooh, maybe Dispute. Probably Runaway Together, though. Because we know we can use that. And that gives us our Paladin. Swing for a little bit. That'll be a good blocker here. And after all this, let's check where they scryed. 2 cards to the bottom. Desperation. 9, 10. So we have one more turn of attacking with our clock here. Carriage. Alright, well that shuts down our clock aggro. But we have Runaway Together. Maybe we could just bounce a mouse. Seems to be one of the more aggressive things we can do here. Gives us a pretty good blocker against the carriage. And it gives us an instant to play on our upkeep in response to the clock. Okay, they're going to use those to crew that monster. And that thing can block our clock, so if anything, we just attack with the Paladin. Which is good here. Gives them a free 2 damage back, but we're ahead in the life race, and we're about to be up in cards like crazy. Monitor first. I probably would have crewed the carriage first. Or maybe they can do that in response here. Untap your Vantress Paladin or Jousting Dummy. And we don't have it, like they know what we have in hand because we put it back on top. So. See what they do here. Not that they're going to attack this turn with the carriage anyway, but they might go for an all-out attack. Oh, yeah, if they pump all their creatures here, give them all vigilance, that would definitely do it. Yeah, I forgot about this. But this might still be okay. They get in like 5 damage, or maybe just all 8 damage. Oh, that could be really bad for us. Let's see. Let's just take this 3 damage and not block the carriage. Alternatively, we could double block the carriage and not draw 8 cards. That seems crazy though. So let's do this. But their board is looking much better than it did a moment ago. Now we add blue. And what would we bounce here? Oh, wait. Ah, I've screwed it up. I should have used the runaway together. Yeah, I did 1-2 trigger too far. Or 1 trigger too far. Hmm. If we know we're going to use this mana, it kind of makes sense to use it now. But it might be better to use in response to something. Yeah, now we have, I mean, we can block their paladin. I guess we run away together here. And with the mouse. And just replay our 5/5. Because they'll have 2 extra cards, but maybe that doesn't do enough. Oh, interesting. So what else can we do? We can look for more of their cards. We can run away something else and then steal it. Or we can hold up some more runaway together on their turn, which is maybe the safest play. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just do that. What's exiled here? That's Midnight Clock. Mill them a little bit. And hold up runaway together. That seems like the safest option. I'll trade off the paladin if that's what they want. This might have been their only Silver Flame ritual, or maybe they had 2. I didn't take such a close look at their deck the last time. One annoying part of this is if they attack in with the carriage, we don't really want to bounce that and give them 2 more mice, but it does take a counter off the carriage. Instead, what we can do is double block that carriage with Scavengers and Tome Raider. So it just depends on what all they attack with here. Crew there. And it looks like we have an attack. So let's go ahead and make these blocks, and if anything weird happens, we can respond to it. But if nothing weird happens, I'll just take these trades. Okay, good enough is good enough, and now that the Tome Raider's done the damage, we're free to run away together with something. Shine Chaser. That's one we can take for ourselves. That's pretty good here. Is that one we want? Does that help us out? Let's see. Yeah, we might as well grab it. So we grab Shine Chaser, so they don't have it. Play land. It's just going to be a 1/1 here. I really want something bigger. At least something that'll trade with the Jousting Dummy. And that means Animating Fairy. Holding up Opt. Or playing the Secret Keeper, which blocks the Corridor Monitor. Yeah, that's even better, because they might spend their turn using Witching Well this turn, and they don't have a lot of damage on the dummy. So ideally, they would lock down the fairy and attack with a dummy. Ooh, they might have all of that. That is too bad. So now they could attack with both pretty easily. And do 6 damage in here. 5 damage. Gross. I can spare 5 damage, I think. 5 life. Eleonora, that's really nice. The biggest thing we can do. And keep our card total high. And pass it back. Actually, yeah, I'll keep everything back here. I want to be extra safe, because if they just lock down Eleonora, I want 2 blocks on the dummy. Trap Eleonora in the tower. Yep. Oh, it costs 4. That's pretty cool. Or 5, depending on how quickly you tap. And we have another couple runaway togethers. These have been really solid. We have 1 more in the deck, I guess. So these are the blocks I've been planning. The fallback blocks. And that's nice. Opt. Don't need any more red. There we go. I love this game. All right, so let's bounce the... Well, we could save that. Why don't we just get a big monster into play? Don't leave anything to chance here. Okay, fair enough. We have the biggest monsters and the best stuff. On to the finals. Round 3. We take the draw again, and this is a solid start with the 2 scries we get off the Apprentice. I've been very happy with all 3 of the runaway togethers in this deck, but you do need a couple early things to make it work out. Red. Oh no, I hope they don't put too much pressure on us, but the scry should really help here. Opt, and we're milling 2 forests. I hope those are the forests they need to stay in this. But they kept their hand, so maybe they already had what they needed. What do we keep here? I guess if we're looking for land, we might as well... Well, how do we do this? Next turn, we'll have 2 mana. So I think we go top here. Well, hold on. Play land. And then opt. Yeah, we might as well put opt on the bottom. And island on top. Because we know we need these lands. And it's not going to work out that we opt on turn 3. And if we opted there, we just scry the island to the top. Anyway, we have Tome Raider to do on turn 3, so I think that's best. They drew Ginger Brute, and it looks like they did not draw green, so unless they're just toying with us here, that might have been a very important mill. There's our island. I will keep the Apprentice back to force them to use 1 mana, which is... They drew or had the forest here. Raging Red Cap. Yes, so they can't attack there. Go island, because there are some quad blue cards in our deck. And we're curving out nicely. We don't have the artifact yet for Scavengers, but a 4/5 is just pretty solid on this board. Is this all they're getting in? They can attack with both, no problem, and I can't really block this. I need 1 more toughness to make that work. So our Vantress Paladin is just the thing. And finally we can attack with a creature. We can attack with Tome Raider because it just doesn't block anything here. And they are stuck on land. They did find the forest, but see how much they can do off 3 lands. Discard Fierce Witch Stalker just to draw land, so their hand must have been pretty good. Maybe it had at least another Witch Stalker. And they find their forest. No attacks at all, so that must mean... I don't know what that means, actually. Why would they hold this up and not attack with the Brute? I have no idea, but it's not going to stop me from just playing my cards. And at this point, racing them. Race him in the air here. We have the same blockers we always had for the red cap and so forth. I will just block the red cap with Eleonora. I mean, even if they have a big pump trick, it prevents all that damage through to us. And they've had enough of it. So 5-0 in games, just one more game, and we're undefeated in this league. The odd part about these leagues is that this player isn't necessarily 2-0 like us, but for us it's the finals, so we'll take it seriously. Finally, we have a deck we can side against. Like Ginger Brute might be good against this deck. But is that better than anything else we already have? Potentially Lock Dragon, which is one of our worst 4-drops. We just want more early interaction. Then again, they have some big stuff, like the turtle could be good against the 4/4. We don't have to overthink things. Vision might be too slow. So I'll make those changes. We have plenty that draws cards in this deck. It's just a matter of surviving. All right, good deal. And on the draw, I mean, that's another way of drawing cards. Yeah, this is our first pick into our second pick. You don't always get a turn like that. Pack 1, pick 1 on turn 2. Pack 1, pick 2 on turn 2. 3, whatever. Just because it's not easy to say doesn't mean it's not good. Red cap. Be a little careful here because we want to make sure we keep 4 cards in our hand so we can block. We didn't get a single So Tiny in this draft. I assume it's Witch Stalker this turn, because I assume they have more than one of those. Oh, Ferocity of the Wilds. Yeah, that's a good one here. The one card I'm hoping to avoid is the +2/+2 and trample spell. They might just want to trade with the gargoyle here. They do. They have barge in. So they get 4 damage in here, but at least they used their trick up. I don't know. Cool. So we'll go Vantress Paladin. And it does stop them from doing anything else that, well, no it doesn't. What could they have done for 1 red? Ferocity, that'll be tough for us to deal with. We pretty much need to out-card advantage them here. Oh no. Oh, I wish we could have kept Runaway Together up. But we can keep a couple up from now on, so we take a full 8. Ouch. Midnight Clock is not... not ticking up fast enough. Turtle. Run away together. I'm just going to double block it and then cast Runaway Together, because it makes it look like... Well, what this might do is make them use another barge in, or a +2/+2 effect. They're not doing that, so what I'm going to do is just Run Away Together, and that'll be with the turtle, so we can get more damage back. And that takes 2 counters off it, which is really nice. So, is it time for the Tree Folk? Looks like it. And that's not one we really want to run away with. Oh, too bad. All right, venture deeper. Play this thing. That'll give this guy trample too, so we don't really have an option. We pretty much have to run away together. Or just block all but 3 of it. Yeah, maybe we... I don't know. This game is hard. Game is hard. Yeah, I think we have to bounce it to have a chance here. So block first. See if that gets them feeling anything different. And then charge up our clock here. If they have the 7th mana, they might make a 3/4 first striker again. But they might just replay it. Oh, that's a good one. That is a 5/5 or 6/5 attacker that we can't chump. Dispute would have been nice against that. Mainly we're just seeing what else they have in their deck now by milling them a little bit. Okay, that'll go to 10, 11, 12. This thing nearly kills us. 7, 8. Actually, it does kill us. Well, it would kill us if we didn't block with the Paladin here. Let's see. So we have to hold up Mystical Dispute and a counter for the clock. So I think we just pass here. That goes up to 10. If they go to pump this +2, we'll counter that because that counters both ends of it. See if they do it. It looks like we have counter magic. They know we have the turtle in hand because we ran away together with it. It also looks like we're just going to pump our clock twice. Joust. 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not one we can interact with. So that'll be it. They don't actually have that many knights, but they have enough. They have at least 2 paladins and some red cards. Being on the play will be better. I mean, I'm happy enough with how I switched the deck, but I'm going to change things back up a little bit on the play. The River Turtle. Yeah, the River Turtle's not as good against them. I'd rather have something a bit more interactive. But I could still see playing the Gingerbrute over Unexplained Vision. And that gives me more of an aggressive outlook. That's crazy, though. I don't know. All right, should be good. We have an early midnight clock. We don't have an early play besides that, but getting this thing started on turn 3 really is a big game. Come on, something early. No, Gingerbrute. That's why we need our Gingerbrute. Animating Fairy. Yeah, I mean, it's much better to have a hand like this on the play because you don't get too many turns behind. But even now I feel a bit behind. Maybe they won't draw their green again. Hopefully they don't have the shield breaker to just kill our clock. But what I wouldn't mind doing is animating it and just going for the race. Just depends on how things go here. We could play Lock Dragon, discard Vantress Paladin, or even run away together and go from there. Because we need the mana from this thing. Yeah, let's do that. And I will discard... Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should discard Animating Fairy. We need early interaction. But Run Away Together is like our worst thing now, and we have more of those in the deck. That seems fine. And I will block this given the chance. They have no green, which is a good sign. See if they just have the kill spell for it. Great. So I'm glad I did that over the Paladin, even though Paladin's a better blocker if they don't make it unblockable. More counters, more lands, which is really good. 6. We could bounce that. Yeah, that's probably the best bet this turn. Just bounce their Ginger Brute. It limits what they can do slightly. It puts a big creature on the field. It's back, attacking for 2 unblockable. Ginger Brute Ferocity, that's one combination I haven't seen yet. I guess Ferocity in general isn't that common, but very strong. Surprisingly strong. So what can we do? Well, I think we have to go all-out aggression here. Besides the Midnight Clock, because I kind of want that. Besides animating it, that is. So let's attack for 4 there. Get the Animating Fairy. Hopefully we're not just dead on board, which sounds unlikely, but if they have some plus spell and also some double strike equipment that flashes in on attackers, I don't know. It could happen. Imagine this is Ginger Brute coming in for 2. 7 Dwarves could also come in here. I guess I'm happy enough blocking that with the Fairy to force their hand. Prevents a little bit of damage. Yeah, they have Barge in. So we take 5. Maybe they play another creature, which would be ideal because Sundering Stroke can mess them up. And I think I have to use that here. So let's do 3, 2... Oh, it has to be 3 targets. Oh, I guess I just kill all these then. Three, 2, 2. That looks perfect. Do that. I don't know how many haste creatures they have. Hopefully it's just a couple Ginger Brutes. But they only have 2 cards left, so a little 3 for 1. A little 3 for 1 never hurt anyone. Now they have the Forest, so which Stalker coming out? Fierce. God, that thing will hit hard. So we hold back the Scavengers. And attack for 3. And I sure hope we're not dead to this. Joust doesn't kill us. They're gaining some extra life. But we're going to be drawing a lot of cards next turn. Or whenever Midnight Clock happens. And we can do that now in response to them doing something. Yes! Oh, that's so good. All right. Thank you for watching. That is 3-0 in the Draft League for my 11th trophy. Blue, I mean, blue is just so good. I don't know if that's the secret in this format, but some people have a lot of success drafting green because probably because everyone else is drafting blue, so you get better picks. But yeah, the depth of blue is just so deep. I mean, it doesn't matter which blue commons you have. I think they're all just that good. And we got a few rares on top of it, so lucky us. Well, until next time, good luck in your drafts.